Hello, I'm Essay, your AI essayist. Please note that all content, audio and video in this presentation are AI generated. As AI can sometimes produce inaccuracies, I encourage you to verify any factual information presented. With that in mind, let's begin.
In the grand intellectual edifice of 20th century science, certain texts stand as more than mere compilations of knowledge. They are architectural statements, fundamentally altering the blueprint of their discipline. Vladimir Arnold's Mathematical Methods of Classical Mechanics, first published in its Russian original in 1974 and widely disseminated through its English translation, is such a monument. It represents a profound synthesis, a revolutionary pedagogical manifesto that permanently recast the relationship between physics and mathematics. The book elevated the discourse of classical mechanics from the often pedestrian language of coordinate-based vector calculus to the sublime, intrinsic dialect of differential geometry. In its pages, the familiar world of Newton, Lagrange, and Hamilton is revealed anew, possessing a breathtaking geometric structure previously glimpsed only by luminaries like Henri Poincaré. Arnold's work achieved a complete geometrization of mechanics, demonstrating that the sophisticated machinery of manifolds, tangent bundles, and symplectic forms is the subject's native tongue, the very grammar of motion itself. This essay will explore the genesis, the profound content, and the enduring legacy of this masterpiece, arguing that it transformed the teaching of mechanics into an introduction to modern geometry and, in doing so, shaped the intellectual trajectory of a generation of mathematicians and theoretical physicists. The landscape of mechanics pedagogy prior to Arnold was largely bifurcated. On one side stood the venerable tradition catering to physicists and engineers, exemplified by texts such as Herbert Goldstein's Classical Mechanics. These works provided a powerful and practical framework, built upon the genius of Lagrange and Hamilton, but their mathematical language was primarily that of multivariable calculus, often tethered to specific coordinate systems. The deeper, coordinatory structures remained veiled. On the other side, a growing body of purely mathematical work explored abstract dynamical systems, yet this often felt disconnected from the rich physical intuition that had given birth to the field. A chasm existed between the concrete computational world of the physicist and the abstract structural world of the pure mathematician. Arnold, a direct intellectual heir of the great Moscow school of mathematics and a student of the legendary Andrei Kolmogorov, sought to bridge this divide. He was steeped in a tradition that celebrated the unity of mathematics and its deep connections to physical phenomena, a perspective powerfully championed by Poincaré at the turn of the century. Poincaré had pioneered the qualitative theory of differential equations, shifting focus from finding specific solutions to understanding the overall geometric shape of the solution space. Arnold took this ethos and applied it with uncompromising rigor to the entirety of classical mechanics. His book was conceived as a response to the perceived inadequacy of existing treatments, an effort to present the subject as he and his contemporaries, like Kolmogorov and Yakov Sinai, understood it as a vibrant, living branch of geometry. The intellectual core of Arnold's text is its systematic and complete reformulation of mechanics using the language of differential geometry. The journey begins by establishing the proper stage for mechanical action. The configuration space of a system, the space of all its possible positions, is identified as a smooth manifold, which we can call Q. This immediately liberates the theory from the confines of Euclidean space. Thus, a system, encompassing both position and momentum, is located in phase. Arnold reveals phase space to be the cotangent bundle of the configuration manifold, a space denoted T star Q. Each point in this cotangent bundle consists of a position, a point in Q, and a momentum, which is a covector at that point. This formulation is profoundly elegant and general. The dynamics itself, the evolution of the system in time, is governed by a Hamiltonian function, h, a smooth real-valued function on this phase space. The true revelation of Arnold's approach lies in his treatment of the geometric structure of this phase space. The cotangent bundle is endowed with a natural, canonical structure known as a symplectic form, a non-degenerate, closed-to form typically denoted by the Greek letter omega. This symplectic form is the central object. With it, Arnold defines the Poisson bracket of two functions, f and g, as omega applied to the Hamiltonian vector fields of f and g. Hamilton's equations, which in older formalisms appear as a set of 2n first-order differential equations, are unified into a single, beautiful geometric statement. The time derivative of any observable function f is equal to the Poisson bracket of the Hamiltonian h and the function f. The flow of the system through time is simply the flow along the Hamiltonian vector field generated by the Hamiltonian h itself. This perspective reveals that Hamiltonian mechanics is, in its essence, the study of symplectic geometry. Symmetries of a system, so crucial in physics, are elegantly handled through the theory of Lie groups. Know the celebrated theorem, which connects symmetries to conserved quantities, is presented in its most powerful modern form, involving the concept of a momentum map, a mapping from the phase space to the dual of the Lie algebra of the symmetry group. Beyond its foundational reframing of the subject, the book's appendices are legendary, serving as gateways to active research frontiers. Perhaps the most famous is Appendix 8, a concise yet brilliant exposition of Kolmogorov-Arnold-Moser theory, or KAM theory. The inclusion of this advanced topic in a textbook on classical mechanics was audacious. KAM theory addresses the fundamental problem of stability in the solar system, a question that had perplexed mathematicians since Newton. It considers quasi-periodic motions in integrable Hamiltonian systems, which correspond to trajectories on invariant tori in phase space. The theory demonstrates that for small, smooth perturbations of such a system, a majority of these invariant tori, specifically those with sufficiently irrational frequency ratios, survive the perturbation. They are merely deformed. This result was a landmark achievement of 20th century mathematics, proving that a degree of order persists even in the face of perturbations that make the system non-integrable. By including it, Arnold did more than teach. He beckoned the student towards the profound open questions at the heart of dynamics. The book is also peppered with what became known as Arnold's problems, challenging exercises that often encapsulated deep mathematical ideas or even unsolved research problems, further solidifying the book's reputation as a crucible for aspiring mathematicians. The reception of mathematical methods of classical mechanics was immediate and transformative. For a generation of graduate students in mathematics and theoretical physics, it was a revelation. It offered a unified, powerful, and aesthetically pleasing view of a subject they thought they knew. The book rapidly became a standard reference, a rite of passage for anyone wishing to work seriously in dynamical systems, geometric mechanics, or mathematical physics. Its influence can be traced directly in the subsequent flourishing of these fields. Scholars like Gerald Marston and Alan Weinstein, in their own seminal text Foundations of Mechanics, explicitly acknowledged their debt to Arnold's vision, building upon his geometric framework to develop it further. The Arnold paradigm became the lingua franca for research connecting mechanics to control theory, fluid dynamics, and geometric quantization, a program which seeks to build quantum mechanics upon the symplectic geometry of its classical counterpart. The book's very difficulty became part of its mystique. Its terse, uncompromising style, which favoured deep insight over computational hand-holding, could be daunting. A common piece of academic folklore, possessing more than a kernel of truth, tells of physics students finding the text impenetrably abstract, while mathematics students found its physical motivation illuminating. This very tension, however, highlights the book's singular achievement. It forced two communities to speak a common, more powerful language. The primary critique of the work, if one could label it as such, was this pedagogical choice. It was a book for the mathematically mature, a text that assumed a willingness to learn a new and abstract language to gain a deeper understanding of physical reality. It prioritized conceptual clarity over the immediate acquisition of problem-solving algorithms, a choice that continues to fuel pedagogical debate. Tracing the intellectual lineage of the work, the influence of Henri Poincaré is unmistakable. It was Poincaré who first understood that the future of celestial mechanics lay in a global, geometric analysis of the equations of motion. Arnold's work can be seen as the comprehensive realization of Poincaré's vision, armed with the full power of modern differential geometry developed in the intervening decades. Within his more immediate context, Arnold was a product of the formidable Moscow school. The influence of his advisor, Andrei Kolmogorov, is everywhere, particularly in the emphasis on the stability of dynamical systems that culminates in the discussion of KM theory. The broader ethos of the school, with its emphasis on the interconnectedness of different mathematical fields and their relationship to the sciences, provided the fertile ground from which such a synthetic work could grow. In turn, Arnold's influence radiated outwards, shaping countless careers and research programs. The modern fields of symplectic topology and geometric mechanics are almost unimaginable without the foundational perspective articulated so forcefully in his book. Individuals who are now leaders in their fields frequently recall their first encounter with Arnold's text as a formative intellectual experience, the moment they first perceived the profound geometric unity underlying the laws of motion. His work equipped a new generation with the tools and the perspective to tackle problems ranging from the control of satellites to the mathematical structure of quantum field theory. In conclusion, Vladimir Arnold's mathematical methods of classical mechanics transcends the category of a mere textbook. It is a work of profound intellectual synthesis, a landmark that redefined its field for the modern era by systematically and beautifully translating the principles of Newton, Lagrange, and Hamilton into the intrinsic language of differential geometry. Arnold revealed the deep, elegant structures that underpin the physical world. He demonstrated that the cotangent bundle is the natural arena for mechanics and that symplectic geometry is its operating system. The book serves as both a complete, self-contained exposition and a challenging invitation to the frontiers of research, bringing advanced topics like KAM theory and momentum maps into the standard curriculum. It was a demanding text, one that required its readers to ascend to a higher level of mathematical sophistication, but the reward was a vista of unparalleled clarity and beauty. It closed the gap between physics and pure mathematics, creating a common ground that has proven immensely fruitful for both disciplines. The book is a testament to Arnold's unique genius, his ability to see the profound connections linking disparate fields, and his passion for conveying mathematics as a unified, coherent, and living subject. It remains today, decades after its first appearance, an essential text, a source of inspiration, and a lasting monument to the power of looking at old problems through new eyes.
We really appreciate you tuning into this AI-powered presentation. Our goal is to push the boundaries of AI in content creation, and your input is invaluable. If there's a particular subject you'd like to see us tackle next, or if you have suggestions on how we could fine-tune our AI's creative prompts, please don't hesitate to leave your ideas in the comments section. We're excited to bring you more unique content very soon.